What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. I'm actually recording this around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm probably, by the time this uploads, I'm probably either going to be at work already or getting ready to punch in. Unfortunately, like I said, gonna have to go on hiatus for a little bit, probably about a good month or two until we can find a legitimate caretaker. Gonna have to rearrange my schedule. Don't worry. Maybe a little bit after SummerSlam, I'll be back to doing the show reviews, but at least for about a good month, maybe 2 months. This is gonna be the way that it is. I can't review any shows. It's gonna cut into my work schedule, man. You gotta do what you gotta do for your family, though, right? But gotta give you guys a bit of a replacement video. You feel me? So check it out. I kind of want to collab two things into one and to bring out a bigger picture as far as the hypocrisy of the IWC. So I want to take it from the top real quick. So I was listening to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez because someone dropped a comment down talking about, oh, Devontae, did you not talk about the Sol Ruca, or what's my thoughts on the whole Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan match? Now, unfortunately, I couldn't review NXT, haven't gone back and watched the show. I probably should, and I probably will on my downtime, because like I said, Sunday, shit happens, life continues, life goes on, but I didn't have the opportunity to watch what happened on NXT, so I can't really judge the match for myself. I can't help but think that I will have similar opinions to what Dave Meltzer said, but that's not the crux of the topic. See, I can have opinions like that. I believe some of you guys in the audience can have opinions like that. I think people who like actual professional wrestling to be selling, to be actual expressions, telling you a story with not just having to do cool moves for the sake of doing cool moves. You know, hell, I would take a punch and a kick with selling and shit talking and spit and blood any day of the fucking week compared to a moonsault done because it looks really fucking good. Like, I that's what I prefer in my professional wrestling. Lots of brawling, or if you want to get more technical with it, that's my favorite thing about professional wrestling, is that you could turn it into a sport. It'd be, you know, obviously, predetermined, obviously, but I think the sport aspect comes out of it when you look at matches like Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle at the Royal Rumble 2003. What I mean by that is, yes, it's predetermined, yes, it's scripted, but when you have two guys who are that good, I think them going out there with the mentality of wanting to outdo them or outdo each other with the spots, with how close can you get to a pinfall cover, you know, what can be your transitional spot. I think that in itself can be, in my opinion, about as competitive in a pre-scripted way as any of your regular sports. You know what I'm trying to say? But what I'm getting at is that I hear Dave Meltzer talk like this, and like I said, I can have that opinion about Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan if it was really that choreographed, but not you, Dave. Not you, Brian. Not any of you dorks in AEW. None of you guys can have that opinion. Why? Because listening to you guys in the hypocritical way that you think about professional wrestling, this should be a 7-star match. Why isn't this a 7-star match, Dave? Huh? What's so bad about Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan in comparison to what Ricochet and Will Ospreay does? Huh? Or what they've done? Or what's so different between what they do and Vikingo did, right? Huh? How about Commander? Rey Fenix? Panther? Azuro Miego let go of my ego? You make, see... And this is what I mean, man. Rules for thee and not for me. And this is why I'm okay with the tribalism. And I'm going to get to the main topic of the video in a minute, because I'm bringing all this up just to highlight the hypocrisy of professional wrestling today, and why the standards of professional wrestling being dictated by marks like fucking Dave Meltzer or Brian Alvarez, it means jack shit in the end of the day. The same people who will call you out for tribalism, they low-key do the exact same fucking thing. They won't call out people like a Ricochet or a Will Ospreay, for an example, in regards to their hive mind way of thinking of professional wrestling. But God knows if NXT does it, the exact same things they call out. They call it a gymnastic routine. They said it wasn't really wrestling. All the shit that you probably was not hearing back in 2017 or 2016 when Ricochet and Will Ospreay did their gymnastics routine. When I guarantee you, had any of us called that a gymnastics routine, trust me, I guarantee you there have been people who called it a gymnastics routine back in 2016. I'm pretty sure they went after Vader. How much you want to bet? You go look at what Vader said and go look at what Dave Meltzer said in reply to what Vader said. I guarantee you it's something along the lines of, well, we're living, we're living in new times, and maybe Vader, he comes from another time, another generation. They shut your ass up, bro. You a clown, bro. But it brings up a huge point, and it's funny how I talked about this morning, how it just kind of ties in all together so fucking smoothly, bruh. See, I bring all this up because I want to point out the fact that these people, now they've been exposed. They've exposed themselves. They don't care about the actual wrestling in itself, right? You have to be a journeyman. You have to be someone who wrestled on PWG or some fucking obscure lame-ass indie show 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, for them to give you credibility. You have to have a lineage through those guys and those indie shows or Japan shows or Mexican shows from fucking 20 years ago and going strong today. If you have a lineage that's somehow connected to those people, whether it's through training, whether it's through matches, whether it's through family, whether it's through fans, friends, promotions, you're in. You're no different. See, here's the funny part. As many times as you like to hear people talk about, oh, you have to be within the good old boys club in order to get into the WWE, right? It's not just about size. That's the main thing. It's about the image, but it's the image plus who you get in good with. I remember people talking shit about Sheamus when he was working out with Triple H back in the 2000s. You know what I mean? But make no mistake about it, the people within the IWC, the people who think that they're the oligarchs of the IWC, the people who think they're the god kings of the IWC, that their narratives are the only thing that matters in the IWC because they're professional wrestling journalists, and we're just the plebes, we're just the jesters, if you will, right? We're just the peasants. Even let's go a little bit less than the jesters, because some may argue that the jesters was the right hand man of the king. He's the only one that could make fun of the king without getting murdered, right? My point being is we're the fucking losers, right? According to most of the journalists, because we're not in the know. But I mean, what are we doing that's no different than what you're doing? We're giving our opinions, right? Huh? We're giving our opinions on a given subject, right? No? Huh? Now, I bring all this up and I tie this all in together. And yeah, that was a long intro, but I figured you guys want to hear that subject anyways. But it ties smoothly into this transition right here. Earlier today, I put out a post talking about Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. Now, I won't give the name of the person or the content creator who talked about this and the way that made me want to talk about this in the community post, although you can put two and two together and you can probably figure out who this came from. But said person made a point to want to react to people who are criticizing the booking of Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker while completely missing the point. And trust me, they're not the only ones who've made this slight criticism about the fans and them not understanding it, them not getting it, them needing to have patience and shit like that. See, you don't understand. You undercut your entire argument by notating the fact that this happened, because there is no going back once you do the creative process of what you did with Sami and with Braun. Do you not understand that point? That's what everybody has. That's why everybody's up in arms about the booking decision, because it's not just the fact that Braun Breaker lost clean to a Sami Zayn and the manner of how he lost to a Sami Zayn, right? Mind you, or excuse me, it's all about the fact that he lost to Sami and the way that he lost to Sami clean. Let me say that back, because you get what I'm trying to say. Fuck, this is live. Shut the fuck up, folks. It's not about the fact that he didn't win the Intercontinental Championship. It's not about the fact that he lost to Sami Zayn. Starting back over now. Got to get myself back on the train tracks. All right, chill. It's about losing clean to Sami Zayn. It's about how he lost to Sami Zayn, because you can run it back as much as you want to. You just now put a kink inside Braun Breaker's armor from a guy who's not even fucking half his goddamn size. He's probably 1/3 of his fucking size. 1/3 of his size. Dude's probably twice as older than him, damn near. Like shit, when Braun Breaker was 5, Sami Zayn debuted in professional wrestling. Like, put that in your, like, really think about that for a second. But I just find it funny because you have these same people who are saying, whoa, Devontae, whoa, take it easy, man. Just let the booking play out, dog. Chillax, bruh. And it's like, you don't even understand where the motherfucker's coming from. The aesthetic that goes along with that Braun Breaker character, you just give it away just like that for no reason. No one is saying that he has to be built up like a Gunther or a Roman Reigns. What I am suggesting, however, is that kind of booking is what helped get over the aura of a Roman Reigns and a Gunther. No one is saying that Braun Breaker has to go in there and be Intercontinental Champion for 700 fucking days. No one is saying he has to be a World Champion for 5 million days. What I am suggesting, however, is that maybe, just maybe, considering that you just built him up to this fucking monumental beast, that maybe you should save that first loss to someone who's a little bit more imposing, someone who's a little bit more of a threat, right? Someone who can at least carry a story with him, not in the mid card. That's at least my thinking. That's at least the way I believe the booking process should wait from a creative standpoint. And you know, I hear people saying on Twitter, and it's funny because I actually addressed this on the show on Saturday, talking about, whoa, maybe you guys forgot, but Braun Breaker, he lost to small guys in NXT also, like I said. And I didn't agree with that then either. I didn't want to see Melo beat him either, not like that. That shouldn't have been the case. I disagree with that too. Having him in the match with fucking Axiom and Nick the Freak, fuck, I still can get away with it. Fuck, and of course it's on a Tuesday, right? My point being is, he shouldn't have been in the ring with these guys at all. What are we doing here? Are we not trying to do professional wrestling? Huh? And the reason why I talk about people like Dave Meltzer is because they fed into this culture. You know, it's funny, as many times people want to give credibility or credit to a Triple H or a Shawn Michaels, so don't get it twisted. I fuck with HBK. He's cooking on NXT right now. And I might have a love-hate relationship with Triple H, but it's more love than it is hate, right? But make no mistake about it, man. Their booking mindset as far as how they think professional wrestling is currently going at the moment, don't make no mistake about it. They're only booking for the people that's been influenced by a guy like a Dave Meltzer, by a guy like a Brian Alvarez. These are the people that put in the minds of the professional wrestling fan that it's all about the underdog. We're not even talking about, see, I think honestly people kind of misconstrue the whole processes of size and athleticism. Nah. That right there just happens to be a part of the aesthetic optically, right? No, what you're not understanding is that this whole thing, this whole environment, it coincides with the position of the underdog. That's what they care about in the end of the day. It's all about the everyday man. Can I relate to that person on any given scale, whether it's size, whether it's look, whether it's achievement, whether it's background? That's all they want in the end of the day. And relatability, in my opinion, is not wrong as far as the mindset is considered. You want to be able to look at somebody and say to yourself, wow, he grew up like that, she grew up like that, fuck, I grew up like that, maybe I can one day be just like them. But what you want to be like is how they actually are looking, larger than life, right? They look like fucking superheroes. Who the fuck wants to look like a Sami Zayn? Who the fuck thinks to themselves that growing up they have to fight, and your person that you want to look towards is a Sami Zayn? Look, I fuck with Daniel Bryan. You can say the same thing about him too. Don't forget me started on the Will Ospreay. So many small guys that are lacking really, really hard in the look department. I'm not really sure where you're going with this. I do know where you're going with this. It's to gradually move away from the look department as far as what gets over professional wrestling, as far as what gets over a superstar when you're turning the channel and then you happen to land on the channel and then you see a guy who's super fucking big and jacked and muscled and fucking looking like he'll eat you for goddamn breakfast, right? It's to get rid of that aesthetic. Because that's what, and you can look throughout society nowadays and you can see the vision of toxic masculinity, quote unquote. We don't want man to be man. We want people to be sensitive. They can still grow the beard out. That's fine because, you know, it's manly to grow a beard out. But, you know, we still want them to be as weak and noodle on as their girlfriend. You know, we don't need them to be physically imposing. That's all toxic masculinity. And we need to focus on the athleticism, right? The meritocracy of the traveling vet wrestler who's been wrestling on the indie scene since 2004. We need to be able to get them over because at the end of the day, the relatability comes from the fact that we're all losers and they're losers and we need to be losers together. And I tell you what, that's the Dave Meltzer way of going about things. Doesn't matter if it happens to be a person who can flip and dive or whatever the case may be. You see, you look at Ruca, you look at Kelani Jordan. They did the same thing fucking Ricochet or Will Ospreay did, right? The exact same fucking thing according to everybody else. It's not about that. It's about what did you do to get yourself into this position? Was it hard? Was it tough? Are you this small that coincides with the hard and tough? Okay, cool. We're right behind you. Doesn't matter. And when you're in WWE, unfortunately, you're looked upon to be privileged, right? You're looked upon to be the guy who got handed everything because you're in the big leagues with WWE and AEW. They're the guys who are rough and tough trying to get their grit on, and they're going up against the big bad WWE. And unfortunately, NXT happens to linger underneath that. See, I think the whole perspective of the underdog in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? You got people like Wardlow, for an example, in AEW, looking as jacked as he's looking as big and fucking imposing as he looks. You can't even take the motherfuckers seriously. In reality, it's crazy. It feels like Wardlow feels like more of a fucking underdog than even the guys who are like not even 1/4 of his goddamn size. You put him in the ring with Darby Allin, unfortunately Wardlow is the guy who looks like he's gonna be the one losing the fucking match. How does that make any sense? Can you imagine Hulk Hogan getting in the ring with someone like a fucking Funaki and thinking to yourself that Hulk Hogan is gonna have trouble with a Funaki? Can you imagine Ultimo Dragon, or not even Ultimo Dragon, excuse me, well actually yeah, can you imagine Ultimo Dragon going in the ring with Ultimate Warrior and thinking to yourself that Ultimo Dragon is gonna fucking beat him clean as a whistle? 1, 2, 3? Huh? Can you actually think to yourself that any of this is a possibility? No, it's fucking insane. It's fucking crazy because there is a certain image of professional wrestling that has to be abided by. And don't get it twisted, a great underdog story is something that I can actually get into. I can sink my teeth into. I was a big Rey Mysterio fan back in 2006 for that exact reason before they jumped the shark of his character. But it's been done so much. The aesthetic of the underdog has been done so goddamn fucking much. Well, what's the credibility behind the story of the underdog that we haven't seen 1,000,001 times, right? Not to mention, the underdog story only works when you do have the person of that stature, the person of that look, the background in the story. How the fuck do you present someone like a Daniel Bryan as an underdog in 2024? How the fuck do you do that? But he's a legend at this fucking point. How do you do that? You know, it's funny. I see Sami Zayn, and I like how he likes to do the whole kayfabe thing, but in reality, he's certainly projecting his actual feelings on television, right? Like, did you see the interview when they were like building up to the press conference? And he's done this plenty of times throughout the year, right? It seems like Sami Zayn has a problem with fans not necessarily booing him, but more so favoring the guy that he's opposing more than him, because Sami Zayn wants to be the underdog. Sami Zayn wants to be the guy who's fighting up and punching up, because you see him in his personal life, and Sami Zayn happens to be that guy who's behind the little person, right? The person who he perceives as the little person, right? Meritocracy be damned. If you happen to be the oppressed, no matter how you became oppressed, you happen to be a victim, then you automatically get in the good graces of Sami Zayn. So he wants to actually portray that character. The problem is, buddy, you're a made man. You're an established guy. You're the guy going out there beating people half your fucking age and half your fucking size like it's goddamn nothing and ruining their entire image. Whether it's Gunther, whether it's someone like a fucking Bronson Reed, for an example, whether it's someone recently like a Braun Breaker. I mean, this guy's he's like the fucking giant killer of 2024, right? I mean, dude, you're a double champion when you were the tag team champions. You're a former Intercontinental champion. You know what I mean? Like, you've done it all for the most part besides win the World Championship. And mark my words, that's coming rather sooner than later. Mark my fucking words. But his whole character and his whole aesthetic is wanting to be the underdog. He wants to be the guy that people look at as being a victim, because that's how society is nowadays. That's how he relates to everybody else in society nowadays. That's how he relates to the geeks and the nerds of professional wrestling nowadays, as far as the fans are considered. That's why you don't have larger than life talents like Braun Breaker nowadays. That's why you can't put them into a position. That's why Dave Meltzer holds the aesthetic and pushes the propaganda that he pushes out, no matter the bias, no matter the double standard, because that's what the projection is nowadays. That's what the image is nowadays. That's what Triple H and Shawn Michaels tried to curtail to, because they know they happen to be the big boys currently in the environment of professional wrestling nowadays. It's the whole environment of relating to the losers in professional wrestling. That's why you see people like a Bayley getting over. And I fuck with Bayley, but let's just call it like we see it. She ain't what I would necessarily call one of the cute girls, right? She won't be one of the girls. I would say it's the girl next door. She won't be the girl who you would probably take to prom over in Alexa Bliss. Let's just call it like we see it. I fuck with Bayley. I would like to fuck Bayley. But looking at how everybody else looks at the professional wrestlers and the divas, I would probably look at Bayley and say that she's probably going to come in 10th place if there's 10 women, right? But she gets over because, well, that. Sami Zayn gets over because, well, everything else that I mentioned. Will Ospreay gets over because, well, he's a traveling vet and he's not wrestling for the big bad wolf WWE. So what we do is that we project this image and we let Will Ospreay, we let Darby Allin, we let Sammy Guevara, we let all these midget fucking Xbox 360 circa 2007 players creating themselves inside the video game brought to real life. We let these people, the Dave Meltzer influenced people, dictate how professional wrestling goes, and that's how you get a Warlow situation where, in reality, he is actually the underdog. In reality, Will Hobbs is the underdog. In reality, if the booking persists in the manner of how it's going right now, Braun Breaker will be the underdog. Because that's how professional wrestling right now is portrayed. That's how the promoters and the bookers influence because of the people who were influenced by Dave Meltzer, and they want to play to that audience when they know good and damn well professional wrestling can survive in this environment. They can survive with this mentality. That's how it's supposed to be. And you wonder why professional wrestling sucks nowadays. You wonder why professional wrestling looks like a bunch of fucking gay twinks going out there twiddling their dicks with each other and making out with their goddamn tongues, right? Back of the throat, licking all your esophagus. It's because you got these people right here dictating how the world should be worked, because that's how the world actually is worked nowadays. Everybody wants to be a victim and people relate to the victims. It's a sad case. It's a sad case. But I just wanted to talk about this, kind of put your nose to the fucking item. You can't smell it from 30 miles away. You need to smell it from 30 feet. Really embrace it. Really choke on the fucking rankness that we call professional wrestling nowadays. I want you to get a big whiff of that shit. Get closer, nigga. Get closer. And understand that right there, what you smelling, that's professional wrestling. And it fucking stinks. My thing is, who left the meat out that long? Who left the milk out that long? Was it you? Oh, it wasn't you? Did you remind them? Oh, you didn't? Well, congratulations. You are now a participant. Collateral damage, right? Yo, talk about this shit amongst each other in the comment section. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Don't worry, I will be back with the show reviews. Time will be our best friend, all right? Trust me, before the summer is out, I'll be back. Just gotta do what I gotta do for my family. You understand. And if you don't, that sucks to be you, because that means you have a very, very sad life. I wish I can adopt some people to be in your family so they can love you. Don't know what to tell you, though. Sucks to be you, though. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. A deuces and a P. Eyes.